So a couple months back now, my boy here, Jack, hit me up and he was like,
"Yes, Zach, how's it going, buddy? Listen, mate, I want to go spearfishing. What are you saying?"
So naturally I was like, hell yeah, let's get at it, boy. So I grabbed some kit, chucked it in the camper and headed down to the southwest. Fortunately, the rib was still out of action from the last time I had it out and it tried to kill us. So we had a bit of grub and got caught up and discussed tactics, because of course without the rib it means we're shore diving. Now let me tell you about my mate Jack, first ever amputee to become Mr. England. Professional good looking bastard, 2-time para canoe world champion, European champion 2022, PT, massive contributor to various charities and an all round general bad man. And this is me, I like rocks and trees. So as you can see, the viz was pretty pooey and the current was pulling through quite strong too, to be fair. We started off then on some nice easy dives, getting warmed up in shallow water, probably about 6 or 7 metres. Now normally when you're breathing up, of course you want to be still as you can, but here where the current's pulling through strong, some finning is needed to keep you from going back. You can obviously see Jack here using his one hand to keep himself trimmed nice and straight, and of course he's kicking with one leg. Not ideal because oxygen consumption, yada yada yada, but needs must in these situations. And Jack's a beast, super fit, and it doesn't affect his bottom times at all. So here we go then, he pops his snorkel out, makes his drop and finds his place amongst the kelp bed. I then drop down as well. I place myself about 15 foot or so off to his side, ready to pick off any escape artists. Now the woody I'm using here is made by Nikos at Chaos Spear Guns. It's a fantastic bit of kit, super fast firing action, sits lovely in the water, it just works. It's got an awesome touch of carbon fibre wrapped around the handle and a wicked little MVD reel. Obviously not seeing any activity down here, so we regroup on the surface.
Do you have a shot or something?
I tried to.
Oh.
We had another couple of drops and missed a few shots, so we moved on to another mark. Now this bit of structure isn't a half bad spot. We've had some decent sized bass and you get some nice mullet passing through there too. But you can see from the way the sediment in the water's moving and from how the kelp is slapped back on his arse, the current's pulling through quite strong. So you can see me here holding onto the rock and just tucking myself out of the way of the fast flowing water. I do this, one, for cover to not spook any fish that are potentially coming past, and two, it's a lot less consuming of energy than having to fin the entire time. I drop down into a channel amongst the kelp, keeping eyes on and looking out for any decent fish that come past. Unfortunately, they're all like most of your girlfriends, which meant that I had to sit there and wait for anything else to come through. I did eventually see this one fish, not a record breaker, but a plate sized fish nonetheless, so I took a shot and I miss. From a previous drop, Jack noticed a couple of bars of silver sat under this ledge, so he drops down to take a look. I wait on standby, ready to help pull out any fish that decide to dive after getting shot. Unfortunately they had moved off, so we did too. We found a little channel in between the kelp, which you often find in terrain like this, and it often proves to be a good hiding spot for fish. Now I'd already recce'd it and seen there were some half decent fish, and I was really keen for Jack to get on one.
Dive between the two, yeah, and then hold onto the kelp and look out with every pollock around you.
Jack begins his dive a little bit downstream from where he intends to end up, the thought being that you can approach upstream without spooking the fish. I'm not breaking the habit of the day. The second he gets down there, the fish are gone. So he switches up the techers from an ambush to a hunt, has a look about, nothing there, so up he comes. So the woody comes back from Jack to Zack. I have a little drop and spot one of your girlfriends swimming about in the form of a bass.
What are you saying, Jack? How was that?
Mate.
Good shit?
Insane. Yeah, that was good.
Fucking mega.
Mega, mate. Really, really good.
Although the viz was shit, the currents were strong, no fish were taken, we still had a wicked day. It's just good to get in the water sometimes, hone in those skills, recce the terrain, be in the ocean. What more do you want, you ungrateful b****? And for the sickos amongst you, stay tuned for next time where something gets killed, Josh pulls a face, the rib rises from the dead, Amy catches crabs again, and we all ride off home for tea and medals.